James Ernest, Grueling Truth, here with Henry Corrales, Bellator MMA. Henry, why did you get started in MMA?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. I was always into sports. I was always aggressive, and I always found myself getting into a fight one way or in a lot of ways. So it was just the perfect mix for me.
So tell us, why are you okay? Your nickname.
Why? Oh, okay. My trainer, he just named me that because of the OK Corral gunfight.
Oh.
And my last name's Corrales. And then also, it's just like I'm always up for anything. So if you ever ask, if you ask me questions, I'm like, okay, let's do that. Like, hey, you got to spar with this guy. I'm like, okay. I'm just kind of always up for it.
Easy going, always up for training, and always ready to do the next thing. That makes sense now. Yeah, because I was like, you're a little bit better than okay. You're not, Yeah.
Yeah, you don't nickname yourself, dude. The first time I heard that nickname was my pro debut. I was walking out. I never even heard it before, and they said Henry OK Corrales. And I looked at my dude, and he was just laughing at me. I was like, oh, fucker.
Tell us about how your family and your background play an important role in your fighting.
Dude, it's funny you say that because my mom always tells me, she's like, don't forget to tell everybody who your first trainer was, your first training partner. Because I was such a bad kid, I was always getting spanked, And so that's kind of that's a little bit about my mom. And what was it? Oh, I'm sorry, what was the question? I'm
about how
super sidetracked right here.
No problem. Kind of relates to your sleeve on your arm, how your family and your heritage play an important role.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got artwork. I'm sponsored by a tattoo shop called the Players Club in Huntington Beach, California. And I got a whole Aztec warrior sleeve on my left side. I got Jaguar Princess. I got the Quetzalcoatl Dragon. And, the Eagle Warrior standing over a bunch of conquered enemies. Got a pyramid, and it just reminds me of just like my warrior spirit. Because I've always had just a warrior mentality ever since I can remember.
Exactly, and with your intensity level there, and obviously your willingness, your okay willingness to, always be up for a fight, I'm guessing it was more Bellator's choice than yours, the whole gap between January and now?
Yeah, a little bit. I did get injured during my last fight. So by the time I was healed up a couple months later, the schedule just wasn't working out. But we're here now, so it's all good.
Yeah, because sometimes, and obviously I know you can't comment on this, but sometimes it really makes no sense, some of the decisions they have. Because there'll be a hot fighter like yourself, 3-0, and there'll be a big gap. Same with one of the guests I've had on the show a couple times, Ramiro Cotton. And there was a big gap in between his fights, and it just was one of those things that's like, they're on a roll. Keep pumping them out there. Keep letting them fight.
Yeah.
So tell us about the MMA Lab and how it's helped you.
Yeah, I came to the MMA Lab coming off some losses, and it kind of just basically reinvented myself there, Just super grateful, man, because there's just so much high-quality dudes on the mats, and off the mats. These dudes are just all-around great guys, a bunch of UFC guys, a bunch of Bellator guys, and a bunch of hungry up-and-comers. So it's just dude, it's a place of just a bunch of dudes with similar struggles and chasing the same dreams, and dude, it's a powerful place there, man.
Exactly. It sounds like a great organization, and like you said, it turned your 0-3 into a 3-0 streak. Hopefully a 4-0 streak coming up soon, though.
Yeah.
You went through different cycles in your career where you were more of a submission guy, and then of late more of a striker. Which one do you feel is a better representative of your overall career, or are you just more of a combination of everything?
Yeah, I've never actually thought about that in that way. I just got my mind on knocking dudes out and just throwing heat at them, and sprawling, brawling. And if it goes on the ground, ground. You know, my last fight went on the ground. You know, good top control, good scrambles, and just kind of a little super basic game plan for me.
Exactly, because early on in your career, I mean, you were such an intense submission artist, and then, like you said, you've kind of gone away from that, more of a striker now of late, and more of a just intensity level. It's amazing how you're able to do both.
Yeah, it's a trip. I was like 6-7-0 or something with 7 submissions, and I remember my first like 4 fights, I didn't throw a single punch standing up. It's just pretty crazy because now I'm like it's the complete opposite.
Exactly. I mean, that says a lot for your career to be able to be so diverse. So tell us about your opponent coming up at Bellator 208, Andy Main.
Andy Main, he has some pretty serious grappling credentials. He's a black belt, tall, lengthy guy, southpaw. He hasn't been too active last couple of years. I know he had like 2 fights or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much a tough dude, you know, nice record. But it's pretty much kind of where it stops there, thinking about that guy.
How do you feel you match up with him?
Very well. I match up well with any 45-pound man walking this earth. And we're going to see on October 13th, man, I'm going to go in there and just put it on this guy, dude. Like, there's literally no other option for me not to go in there and just smash this guy. And that's just the mentality I'm going in there with, man. And I'm just really excited to put on a winning performance for everybody.
Yeah, you mentioned being a fighter growing up. Obviously, you were usually the lighter weight man. So, in these type of fights nowadays, when it's same size, it's probably an advantage for you.
Yeah, not only that, dude, there's no weapons involved, so it's all good, man. This is really cool, and I'm getting paid and not going to jail. I'm super grateful and pumped for, you know, being able to turn in, you know, a lot of people would view, you know, fighting in my past as, you know, a dark time, and I was able to turn it into, like, you know, the light of my life, dude. It's super cool, man. I'm just so happy and thankful, and, like, the only way to show my gratitude towards myself or however this happened is just to work my ass off, dude, and really just entertain the fans, dude. Like, I'm super big on that. Like, I want to go in there and fucking slang them, you know?
Exactly.
I'm just really excited for this.
It reminds me a lot of one of our former guests. We had Frank Shamrock on, and he had a troubled past, grew up fighting, and obviously it worked out for him, you know. So, and it looks like it's working out for you at 15-3, so you can't go wrong with that.
Dude, you learn, you know, I started this, you know, game from just for being a fighter, you know, and I'm slowly, like, turning into and evolving into just, like, a martial artist, you know, like a legit one, where I'm able to, like, translate all these lessons that I'm learning from martial arts into my personal life, and that's just, like, man, now it's like, dude, I'm, like, savoring this journey, and it's just precious to me, man. I love this stuff, man.
Tell us about your camp. How's it been going?
Everything's going well. This fight was, it was kind of released just only like a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And but my teammate Benson Henderson, I've known for a couple months that he was scrapping on this card. So the whole time, dude, I was like, dude, I just knew like I was gonna get on this card. Like, there's no way they're not gonna put me on this card. And I was like chomping, scratching, hitting up Kogan, hitting up Jason House at Iridian Sports, talking to John Crouch, like, get me on this fucking card, get me on this card, get me on this card. And I just knew in my mind, dude, like I was going to get on this card. And, you know, I'm just super, super prepared, man, and just hungry. And like you mentioned earlier, like, I haven't fought since January, man. So I've just been focusing all my energy on getting in there and, you know, making some things happen, dude.
And, you know, I don't want to talk too ahead of time, but obviously when this one goes well, they're going to be in your hometown in January.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's automatic that I'll be fighting there, for sure. There's no way. I'm such a huge draw that I sold, like, dude, like close to $20,000 worth of tickets, like, my last 2 fights there each time. So it's like...
Exactly, it's a no-brainer. I mean, why wouldn't you have a hometown guy, especially as hot as you've been in the sport, you know, and like you said, you draw crazy well there. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So how's the weight cuts been going?
The weight cut's good. Like I was saying, like I knew I was gonna be on this card for a while now, and it's good. I'm waking up this week. I started waking up in the 50s, which is really good. I was checking out my journal from last camp, and I'm like 2 pounds lighter than I was last camp, and last camp was the easiest weight cut I've had.
Oh, nice.
So we're on pace, stepping on scale and 145.0, easy money.
I know you don't really have too much say in who you fight, but who is that dream match? Who's that guy you're looking towards?
Oh, dude. Well, definitely, dude. I got vengeance on my mind, dude, especially after, coming to the MMA lab and evolving my skill set and just being a better fighter. Like, I feel a strong hunger for vengeance of those couple losses that I took. And, yeah, man, that's kind of on my mind. But at the end of the day, I'll fight any of these guys, dude. I really will. So, yeah.
As always, it's important. Who's going to be in your corner for the fight?
I got John Crouch, Eddie Chaw, my striking coach, and James Nakashima. He's the 170-pound welterweight champ at LFA. Nice.
So definitely some good influences there.
Oh, yeah, man.
What's your thoughts on the featherweight division and how Bellator's compares with UFC, that kind of thing?
I guess I never really thought about that. My whole take on this is everybody's grinding, dude. Everybody's working hard. And all these guys are savages, dude. They're all tough, dude. They fight people in a cage for money. And so that's pretty much where that whole thought process stops for me, It's so I got to sink or swim, dude. I got to put in all the necessary work to better myself as a martial artist.
But in the Bellator division, I mean, who are some of the ones that you enjoy watching them fight?
Dude, AJ McKee's last fight was pretty sick. I seen the finish. Aaron Pico's fight was pretty good. We're talking about 45ers?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pico, Thibault's always exciting. Sanchez brings the heat. Yeah, they're all just the main guys, that everybody knows about. Are pretty interesting to watch.
I heard you like to read. What are some of the books that you get into?
I just finished reading for the second time in a couple of weeks, The Winning Mind, and super legit sports psychology book. And again, I'm like reading it for the second time. It's called The One Thing. Mm-hmm. Pretty good book. Another, not so much sports psychology, but just like one of those personal development type books.
Makes sense. So it sounds like you enjoy the books.
Yeah. I'm just trying to better myself, dude.
That's always
make some things happen.
So who are some of the sponsors that you would like to thank?
My two main sponsors are Help You Save Insurance and Dreamscapes. And you can check everything else out on my social media, Henry Corrales MMA, Henry Corrales MMA on Instagram. That's kind of like where I'm most active at.
Excellent. Thank you, Henry, for being on the show. We wish you the best of luck at the fight, the Bellator 208, where you're fighting Andy Main. What venue is that one going to be at?
It's going to be in New York. I don't know the exact venue there, like upstate New York, not the city.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Henry, for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Have a nice day.
My pleasure.